Once the CIOs have evolved, what's next? It's just not for CIOs to look at the strategy, but for that to have an IT function which has more effectiveness, higher on effectiveness as well. A complicated blueprint of CIOs have formed for the enterprise IT functions. They look at business. They want not just to keep the lights on, but to align with business processes. They have to think about, let's say, what a product, how will a product sell, how will they look end to end. Let's say a product company that is looking at how to make their products and sell. Until the CIO looks at the end-to-end process, how do we ideation about a new product? Can we get leads? Can we sell? Do we have the order? Once if something is sold, then how do we do after-sales services? So the business for the IT function has to align with processes. That ensures that revenue growth is increased. The similar things about technology. It's just not about virtualization and computing technology. The virtualization in the old, not really old, but a few years back, it has led to a logical end product. IT as a service is something that we would have heard already. Virtualization then led on to the foundation as the foundation for cloud computing. Greater agility, have more reliability, and ensure scalability. All of that is more about how technology, IT moves over maybe to a private cloud, to a hybrid and a public cloud over time. But then it's about the IT function to think about all of that. The more cloud computing that you do, the CIOs will also ensure that they're reducing all of the costs. And hence there's a innovation. It should not be CIOs to be followers, but then leaders even when the product companies are looking at the new technologies. From an IT standpoint, the lights on have to be on. There has to be agility to respond to business changes. And of course, all of this, the business and technology and IT cannot be without people. People, all of you and me. There has to be career growth. Every IT function will look at employees about how to get them graded on or reskill on technology, how for each one of us to think about business. And of course, collaborating with the IT outsourcing suppliers. At the end, all of this delivers where the IT function has the responsibility to connect to the customers, to their connection with their own partners. And of course, all of this is delivered from measuring metrics. The IT function can't just think business, but can also have to think about project and service accountability. All of this makes a full package on what we should be looking at. I would not get into details on the big data and the cloud and virtualization, and I'm sure there'll be very many literature and sessions as well on the net. But it's good for us to look at a few things. One, on how do we combine the business and technology to ensure that IT responds with agility. Before we go on, let me take a small break because we're looking at engage. We have a new poll where it is asking from each one of you on the technologies. Moini, can you bring up the next poll? So for all of you, it's for you to talk about what are the latest technologies like big data and cloud and mobile and all the regular ones which we're looking at. Do you have project experience on these latest technologies? Have you just read about those and heard from your friends and peers, or are those technologies which you've not heard so far? We'll leave the poll on. Okay, so I see the poll open. Be interesting to see most IT professionals that I've looked at the attendees count, to see how do you guys upskill, and go and learn and develop.
Neelam, around 68% of the people have voted. Out of those, 19% say that they have project experience on these latest technologies. 82% said they have heard and read about these, and 5% say no, not heard.
The 90% have project experience.
It has varied now. 22% say they have project experience. 81% say heard, read about these, and 5% say no, not heard.
Okay, so that's an interesting statistic. Good to hear that 22% of y'all has project experience, but then it's one area where IT professionals like us would go ahead and look at can we upskill ourselves. The whole business climate is different these days, and it has all the more opportunity for all of us to train ourselves, get onto the latest technologies, and then be on project experiences as well. All of that aligns. There has to be an alignment of business and technology with IT. It's very different these days because the IT estate is not just IT professionals like us. It's about business owners, technologies, the suppliers, business analysts, a varied set of people who are part of the IT estate. What we're looking at for IT functions to think about the right questions, to demystify IT going back to the business, because the business only shouldn't think about business but also about IT. They have to look at how they can utilize on assets. What are the project portfolio that they should look at to optimize and reduce costs as well. Some of these areas out of the direct control of CIOs are also coming up, but then CIOs have to get up to speed, engage the entire IT estate, and get onto the benefits. The benefits are the real IT strategies for a CIO. They got to business, deliver business solutions. They have to manage infrastructure. They have to manage the application portfolio today, and of course, managing the governance and improving about that. All of that, the very key message out of all of this would be that every enterprise IT has to be along with business and technology, align the IT strategy to the business strategies as well. From a technology side, I'm not going to go more about the technologies, but then what about consumerization? It's an oft repeated term that we all looked at. It has first emerged in the consumer market. It has then later on spread over to business and government organizations as well. Most of us have mobile devices. Do we use only laptops or do we use smartphones? Can we connect to the company network, or are we only using it for personal use? Does the enterprise IT, the IT function, give you any help for your personal devices to be utilized at work? Does the IT security help you in that? We as employees have to look at whether companies are engaged. Are they taking care of consumerization of IT? You would have heard of bring your own device. Consumerization of IT is not just devices. It's more about for us to be on social computing, for us to look at media, for consumers also to look at applications that they use on a daily basis. And hence, it's for CIOs to re-look at consumerization, not from a consumer standpoint, but from the business standpoint. There will be collaborative relationships with users. It has to couple that with what facility that enterprise IT function comes up with. They have to ensure that security, the data is confidential, that should not be compromised by the IT function and the user. But once there's a good balance between what the CIOs encourage and the enterprise IT function does, it's all about the IT function to look at how can they save money, is there agility, how can they improve employee productivity. Each employee like us has ease of use with the devices that we have. At the end, aligning IT, as I said, there's one area of engaging and developing employees. Something that the world has heard from CIOs is that there's a gap that each CIO faces in their own organizations about skills. The graph shows you such high areas. It is about 35% of skills that on business analysis that CIOs are looking at. There are many folks on this call itself who have IT, technology-centered skills, but have to pick up on business analysis as well. And of course, the enterprise architecture, management, looking at change, all of those are the areas where CIOs have to empower and get their employees to learn about. What 40% of IT professionals and some of us on the call itself are looking for new jobs. And why would that be? It would be because I want to do interesting work. I don't like the company management, and that's why. That's an oft heard area that you would find from IT professionals as well. And CIOs feel the issues when they look at IT professionals with the dispatch. What will make it better for IT enterprises is for the employee engagement model, fostering an open culture, ensuring that recognition for the employees, learning and development, all of the trainings and certifications, how employees are learned so that they can pick up new technologies. Just what I recall, 22% of y'all have done some past project experience, but then and just about 58% have been only on technology. That means the learning and development is not just about reskilling on technology, but reskilling on business, upskilling on business as well. And of course, diversity and inclusion. There are strengths that have to be addressed and the areas of opportunity as well for engagement to the whole hierarchy in the employee front. It all leads to the service quality, productivity. It's about the CIO to think about when employees are engaged. That's where it leads to enterprise IT being delivered. And of course, some of you would have heard about classic philosophy of HCL that we have for employee first, customer second. It's for every employee to be looked at with trust and transparency, and for empowering and enlightenment of employees. Looking into the future, we know that there are new terms that we're looking at. Engageification of enterprise would mean that games and employee engagement put together, or how an employee engagement is will be lead to the indication of what's the performance of the entire organization. That sums up on how we are across business and technology and IT. From an outsourcing services,